Welcome to this installment of Look Forward, where we look at the people, places, and things that give us something to look forward to. I'm Rob Dees. Today we're joined by Bethany Jurewicz, Director of Public Programming and Community Outreach at Garver Feed Mill. How you doing, Bethany?
I'm good. How are you, Rob?
I am okay. Public programming and community outreach is pretty inspiring right now. I would feel like, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have the opportunity to continue to do things when others may not be doing much.
Cool. So for those that don't know you, can you tell Madison who you are?
Yeah, totally. So as you said, I am the Director of Public Programming here at Garver, but I'm also an exhibition manager at the James Watrous Gallery on the third floor of Overture Center, which is a program of the Wisconsin Academy of Sciences, Arts, and Letters. And I'm also the chair of public art for Madison's Art Commission. So I definitely make my way around the art community in Madison. I work with a lot of artists, and I focus on community programming. So that ranges from free events that are large scale and open to the public, such as Makeshift Festival, which happens 2 years in a row in partnership with the Madison Parks Department. I've also worked with some bubbler folks on events like Municipal, and I do some work with Art Literature Laboratory. So I do some freelance stuff as well to really focus on getting contemporary art seen by as many people as possible. And I specifically focus on programs and events that kind of take the choice away from people. So what is most pleasurable to me is surprising people with art, right? So someone who comes to pick up their pizza at Ian's may not know there's an exhibition here, but they stumble upon 18 different artworks. Same with events like Makeshift. That was really special to me because it's a public park, right? So you might just be bringing your kids to the playground or going for a run or a bike ride, and lo and behold, there's a gigantic art festival. And I often overlap my art events with food. So even in the James Watrous Gallery, we have a series called Art Bites, which brings artists to the table literally, and it's a progressive meal within the gallery. So guests actually get up and move from one table to the next, so they get to talk to each artist or expert that we have as special guests for the event. So using food and conversation and public spaces to really bring a new audience to contemporary art.
Cool. So I want to talk about this current project, the Outside Looking In Drive-Thru Exhibit. I got a chance to go to the website. I haven't got a chance to get over there, but I saw some of the artists. So I'm like, yo, I know these people. By the way, big shout out Victor Castro. Got to give him a shout out. So
he's over here.
Word. So can you tell us a little bit more about that project?
Yeah, so you're seeing one of the pieces behind me, actually. This is Gigantic Orchids by Steph Hagens, right behind me. And this project, it was inspired by our current stay-at-home order. So the building manager actually came up with the idea and said, hey, Bethany, let's use Garver's windows and put on an art exhibition that people could view from a safe distance. So it's meant to be viewed from car or bike. If you do come on foot, just be sure to keep social distancing in mind. But all the artworks are large enough that you can view from a distance. I'd also recommend viewing after 8:30 at night. The highlights are definitely 4 or 5 new media exhibitions, which really come alive after dark. So we put this together so that people could kind of still get a cultural experience during this time and keep social distancing in mind and keep what's going on in mind, but also have a distraction from what's going on. So the piece behind me is super cheerful and bright.
Right.
But we also have artists who kind of took the opportunity to dive into COVID times, right? They're exploring the actual visuals that we're seeing, such as the curve that we're meant to flatten. They're exploring hands and nose and mouth in one of the video pieces, really thinking about these parts of the body and kind of how being a human is actually affecting us negatively right now, being social beings that talk a lot, spewing our germs all over the place. So there's work that kind of dives into the state of COVID and other work that just wants to cheer you up. So it's a cultural activity that you could do now, and it's running through May 31st.
Cool. And that's what I was going to ask you. Have you guys thought about extending it past the 31st, or is that the cutoff?
It's possible. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens, right, with the stay-at-home order. I think there's inside this building, there's a 500-person event space. I think if we are actually able to have large events inside, we will likely take the art out of the windows so that people inside could see out. But if we're not able to have events inside, we would potentially leave this up. It's also possible that we would rotate some of the art. So changing the exhibition up a little bit. We actually have a couple more pieces coming that I'm not going to ruin the surprise, but it is going to evolve a little bit over May. So it's possible it could rotate or stay up as is longer if we're not holding events inside.
Cool, cool. That sounds very inspiring. So that leads to my last question. Can you tell us maybe a person, a place, or a thing in Madison that is inspiring you right now?
Yeah, I'm actually in industry. I'm pretty inspired by our restaurateurs and our chefs right now. As I said before, the food industry plays a pretty important part in what I do. I had the chance to work with the Culinary Ladies Collective for Festival at Garver Feed Mill, which happened in February. And I think that our food community in Madison is something that most of us are super proud of and take part in regularly. And thinking about any of that going away because of the pandemic is really sad to me. So I am very inspired to see so many of these restaurateurs finding a way to survive. I mean, right here at Garver, Ian's business is still booming. They have a great pickup system. Same with Ledger Coffee here. Their business has barely changed, except people don't come into the store. And I've personally been really excited by and inspired by Christine's Kitchen, who has organized a huge amount of chefs and food producers to have home deliveries on a weekly basis. So every week when I go on there to order, there's new vendors, new products, and they are really creating a space for the food industry to thrive when it isn't so easy.
Cool. That sounds like a lot. Yes, very something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So really quick, how else can people find out about what you do?
I would say following me on Instagram is the best way to do that. So you could follow Garver at Garver Events on Instagram, but my freelance work is actually at VEA Events. That's Visual Edible Audible, VEA Events. And you'll find out a lot about my project there. So I would say that's definitely the best place to find me.
Cool, cool. Well, Bethany, I would like to thank you for joining us. That wraps up this segment of Look Forward. Make sure that you go to the website at lookforwardmadison.org. You can also go to the Facebook and Instagram pages at Look Forward Madison and on Twitter at Look Forward MSN. Until next time, Madison, keep looking forward.